Blasphemy.
Oh boy, John. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, we rolling?
We are rolling. We are rolling like Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. We rolling.
God damn. I don't know. A mini Sarah Gordon would be pretty awesome. If it's anything but that, I don't know if I want.
Wait, what?
If a mini Sarah Gordon came along,
a mini Sarah awesome. Gordon?
Yeah, Sarah/Gordon.
Mini Sarah Gordon. I'm very confused. All right, whatever. This is what happens.
I'll give you some time to figure it out. Anyways, what up, Fraser? What up, Lewis? What up, Sarah?
I just saw her note about her. All right, sorry. I didn't realize what the hell was happening.
We were just confirming dates. Rob missed it last minute, jumped on and was like, "Hey, wait, this movie is in here?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is in fact in here." So now he has a crazy list of too many movies.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into it. Thank you very much, folks, for tuning in on a Monday night for some 90s action. Like we got some good ones here. Oh,
well, we should just first of all say that this is something that we've been building up towards for a very long time. By the way, I'm Rob Gadet. This is John Ho. How's it going? This is the Heroes World Sidekick Show. Way to do the introduction, John. Okay. This is something we've been building up towards for quite some time. It was actually last year, the end of 2020 is when we finished off our 80s action movie brackets, John. I believe it was like, was it? Yeah, it was end of 2020. So
it was literally right around this time, yeah.
Yeah, so we have been talking about this. People have been asking us. We kind of put it off. We wanted to have a little bit of distance between the 80s and 90s bracket. We're also a little bit, admittedly, maybe intimidated by the amount of action movies that we had to deal with. So John and I have put together what we had to narrow it down. We're going to go through all those rules and stuff like that later on, but at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is this is something that we've both been really looking forward to. And the fact that I'm wearing a black shirt and John's wearing a white shirt, it just goes, this is like, obviously we're going to have differing opinions, and why not start it off this way? So with that,
I just realized my mouse is disconnected, but anyways, I'm like sliding your mouse around trying to like
mouth, because your mouth should be disconnected too.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, don't shout out your movies yet. We got a bunch of stuff to go through.
Yeah, we got to go through some stuff, including some rules, and some of those movies may not be part of this initial bracket. So just hold on. But John, you got stuff that's coming out in the store this week, right?
Yeah. So let's jump to it. So sometimes we talk a little bit about new stuff at the shop or new stuff coming to the shop, and then Rob's going to hit us with some of the news, and then we're going to get into our juicy topic of the week and probably topic for the next couple weeks. So thank you everybody for joining us. Lewis, chill out.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. We'll talk about it in a minute. John, tell us what's going on.
Yeah. If you want to work on stuff while we're talking here, we're going 90 to 94. But we will talk about other stuff. But anyways, let's since my mouse is not working, let me talk a little bit about things coming into the shop and things that are on pre-order. So Rob, can I show you some stuff? Yeah. Fire Marshal Bill, let me show you something. I was trying to pull that clip and I couldn't find it. Anyways, so we have too many buttons. So we're gonna jump to Hot Toys. Hold on, I gotta get this stupid banner out of the way. There it goes. All right, so this is Hot Toys. This is a 1/4 scale version of the Iron Man at the gantry. Is that what it's called? I don't know what this device is called.
The automatic dresser upper.
your servants. If this was a medieval movie, they would be servants putting on his robes and stuff like that.
That's right.
But yeah, this is a big piece. They have done it in the 1/6 scale. So if you're not familiar with Hot Toys, they do very highly detailed versions of all kinds of characters from all kinds of movies and video games and stuff like that. So it looks like they're going back to the well on Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is out, as far as I can tell, for Iron Man, but they're still going to go back there for a while. So maybe they played for the license for a little while. But this is a very nice piece here. So this is the Mark IV. I don't know the difference between all the different marks. I don't know if you know, Rob, other than maybe the design, slight tweaks in the design.
Yeah, there's slight tweaks in the design. The emblem, the triangle emblem was a different design and mark, and so there's lots of them. Yeah, they all have different power subsets or whatever.
Yeah, so this one does come with a Downey Jr. head. it's hard to tell in that shot there, but you think that looks like him? Yeah, it's got the facial hair and everything going on.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty realistic donut as well, so that's good.
Yeah, hyper realistic donut.
Could you imagine if it smelled like a donut? How wicked would that be?
Oh, yeah, I feel like they could do that, no problem.
Yeah.
So this guy will have metal components. Usually some light up effects. Usually the chest piece, you can see it's a little bit lit up there.
Yeah.
The eyes, and just the whole diorama around the base. So you can see that the mask opens up and you get Downey Jr.'s face in there. Do you happen to hazard a guess on how much something like this would cost you, Rob?
Well,
do you want to do it in USD, or are we going to do a conversion? I only grab the prices in USD.
Okay, if you did it in USD, I'm going to say because of the scale of it, I mean the extra, arms holding on and stuff like that. No, I don't know if it's going to be that much, Raymond. I'm going to say 775. I actually want to say 650. I'm going to say 775.
All right, so we're going to play Price is Right, where Rob doesn't win anything, but we're going to have some fun. Sweet. So Michelle says she bids $1. She's doing the Price is Right thing. Lewis is bidding 2,500 US or Canadian. I'm assuming he's going Canadian. Fraser, I think he's within the USD. Oh, so Lewis is changing his to the 12 USD, and Raymond jumped in with what up, Ray? 2K. So let's go. What? Who's right? Who's wrong? All right. So 1,040 USD. So
holy shit.
I guess Fraser is the closest. You win absolutely nothing, but if you are interested in this Iron Man Mark IV suit up gantry collectible set, hit me up, folks. It's not coming out for a little while, April to June 2023. You have lots of time to make payments and figure out your funding and such like that. The due date is a date that I have a deadline to order this to guarantee it. Sometimes you can sneak in and get in after the order date, but if you want to guarantee this into your collection, hit me up before February 1st. Or whatever vendor you're comfortable with. You can buy these direct from Sideshow as well. I do recommend a trusted Canadian dealer if you are in Canada, because the fees of it coming across the border can sometimes be a little crazy.
Well, we've talked about that in the past, John. I think it's important. It's been a long time since we've mentioned it, and I think it's important that we reiterate this, is that when you are buying from Sideshow website, you also have to pay your duty and shipping costs and everything else like that. And those may not be as high if they were ordering it from a vendor such as Heroes World, correct?
Yeah. We there's some wholesale paperwork and things like that we can try and help mitigate those types of things. So next on the docket is another pre-order. Oh man, no mouse is killing me here. So this is a Batman. Oh man, is a stupid touchpad. You know what? When you have a laptop, you always have to disable the touchpad. But in this case, this is all I get to use. Is this working? No, it's still not working. All right, so this is the Batman Classic Dark Knight statue, Rob. This is a premium format, so another 1/4 scale.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good. Like this is, I don't think this is direct tribute to any of the particular Frank Miller art. This looks like kind of a reinterpret or a more modern interpretation of it, maybe.
It almost looks like a reimagining of that scene, because you have the lightning in the background. He's doing that jump, right? So it almost looks like the scene from the first original Dark Knight Returns, where he's jumping off the roof. Like I think it's just like as you said, a reimagining of that scene. It looks very
Yeah, but he looks slightly different. He doesn't look exactly like the Frank Miller art. They've kind of done a little something different. So here's a little render of what it could look like in your home. I like the bats on the wall. That'd be a nice accent. So if you do get this statue and you put the bats on the wall, let me know.
Yeah.
And Rob, do you want to hazard before? Oh my God, my thing is okay. Well, I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
I didn't. No. But who is it? Is this Sideshow again?
Yeah, this is the Sideshow premium format. The base does light up. So I got this picture here. That lightning bolt behind him lights up, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, at nighttime,
it's about 31 inches tall. So this is a pretty significantly sized statue. Any guesses on how much this is?
Yeah, 2,500.
2,500. Whoa, okay. I feel like maybe you're thinking like a lot of the newer premium format stuff got a little crazy, but this one's a little bit moderate. So it's $675 USD.
Wow. All right.
So that's not bad. Although converted, you're about a grand or so.
Yeah.
And this is due out sometime in 2022. So June, August 2022. If you're interested in that, let me know. Look at this. I don't know if you saw the preview before.
Very good.
All right. So I'm going to jump into some stuff that is coming out now. So these things you can see they're quite far ahead in the future. Sometimes we have to order like up to 2, 3, maybe even more years in advance. And who knows if it is not coming out on time. Yeah, Ray actually saw. So good guess. You should have played it off as you just came up with that crazy number.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over some stuff that's actually coming to the store this week. So we have this one, the Spider-Gwen, another Hot Toys piece. They are doing Spider-Verse figures. So it's kind of an interesting take. So this is based off the animated movie of the same name. We got the next movie coming out this year, right, Rob?
Yep.
The new one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Part one of it.
So
Yeah.
This looks good. This looks exactly like it does in that animated series, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It comes with the Spider Ham, multiple heads. Sorry, this mouse thing is killing me. I might have to run over and grab a different mouse.
Have you ever thought of just untaking the battery out and putting it back in the current one you have?
I think because I'm using a Bluetooth mouse, it kicked when I put my headphones in. It kicked my mouse off, so I should have done a little bit more play testing before. So this piece is coming in within this week. So if you are interested in that, hit me up. She goes for about $255 USD. Whatever the conversion will be. Comes with a little cell phone. I don't know if it comes with that notebook. Did you see that notebook in that stack of stuff? Let's take a quick gander here. No, you're gonna have to make your own.
Yes, I do.
There's a picture right there. Yeah.
Third
so
picture.
You might have to make your own notebook. Or there you go. Physics.
Cool.
All right. Next item. We have battle damaged Thanos. So they have released multiple versions of this Thanos. So in the full armor, in the non-armor at all, where he's just kind of wearing his chilling out gear after he has done the snap and all that kind of stuff. So this is the battle damaged Thanos from the final battle of Endgame, I believe. So you guys who are completing your Hot Toys Endgame sets, you will probably want this Thanos. We're going to go through a couple pictures here. So look at this. Get all the other Avengers. You got Fat Thor over there. You got a battle damaged Iron Man. You got a nice Captain America in the back there. So if you want to get pricey, I don't know how much this whole setup's going to cost you. If you want to do the math, it's going to get a little crazy. But damn, that looks hella nice, eh? So he looks pretty good here. How do you think? How close do you think that looks to Josh?
No,
I would have thought that was a picture.
Yeah. No. I thought that it looks right on. I mean, it's spot on, right? So,
yeah.
Do you think that like the actors and all that stuff? Do you think that they get these things like comped? Do you think that they get like every one of these figures?
I feel like they should. And
like Rob Liefeld's always unboxing Deadpool stuff, so I often wonder, right?
Yeah. I feel like if they don't, their agent or someone up the chain should be like, "Yo, we should eat the cost of this and get them one of these." So that's pretty cool. All these different accessories, yeah.
You know what? Maybe they could be worth it. Like it just depends.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Trade in your happy home. All right, so Thanos here. The guy's getting $428 USD.
Right.
I am getting probably this week shipping. If shipping holds out. So definitely hit me up if you want that. I'm going to jump onto some other items. So we're going to jump onto some toys. So I don't know if you recognize any of these guys, Rob, let me know. This guy here from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series. I think maybe you just missed the Ninja Turtles craze, Rob, or did you grow up with the Ninja Turtles?
It was a little bit after, but I still would occasionally watch the cartoon, but I don't know who the hell that is. The big guy.
Okay, this is a character called Chrome Dome.
Okay.
So he looks pretty cool. He's not chromey, but they're doing like an animated kind of like a cell shading type thing to make him look like he's shiny.
Yeah.
Sometimes shiny toys are cool in theory, but when you have to like clean them off and you get fingerprints on them,
brutal.
It's not cool. So these are considered 1/12 scale action figures by a company called NECA. They do a really good job with this animated license with the detail. You can see the shredder next to him is painted very nicely with kind of like lines to help you make him look more kind of like 3D and like the cartoon. The Krang android body, so that big guy in the middle. I do have the two rock guys on the sides. That is coming in. So a whole bunch of NECA stuff is just coming out. It's been crazy. They've been backed up at the shipping ports and all that kind of stuff. So it's all just going to be hitting now. So this is a character called Mondo Gecko. As you can tell, he's a gecko, but pretty cool. And then this character here, Muckman, another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character. I see Rob is glazing over. So let's move on from Turtles. So if you're into Turtles animated style, let me know. I'm getting a couple other things. I'm getting a restock of the movie Shredder. So if you like the old live action movie, and I am getting Raphael back in, so a bunch of fun stuff. This year I'm getting the Karate Kid versus Johnny Lawrence 2-pack cloth figures from the original Karate Kid. So you can set up your very own diorama here. Comes with Johnny and Daniel LaRusso with the fighting mat. I don't know if that's a cardboard piece or not, but most importantly is the All Valley trophy. So I feel like you can always take this trophy and put it in other pictures and things like that.
Now,
So,
we don't have a camera on Gord and Sarah, but I imagine one of them's holding the other one, shaking them, screaming in excitement, saying, "We have to order this."
I don't know. I think they need to hit up, like need to start doing some of the Cobra Kai characters. But this is pretty cool to see these two characters in this type of format. You never would have thought they would have had action figures this detailed.
Yeah, I agree.
For this particular movie property. I don't know how many years it's been since Karate Kid. Karate Kid 1 is 80s.
1984.
Yeah, 84. Holy jeez. For the glory of love. Check it out. All right. And this guy here, the Predator. I don't remember what Predator movie this is from, Rob. I think that's the picture of the movie poster in the corner there. Is that
if that's the case, then that would be Predators. Yeah, the one on the planet, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool dude. I guess he was a giant beefed up Predator. I didn't.
Or maybe that was actually the Predator, the one that had Olivia Munn in it. That might have been the Predator, because they send like a super Predator down to capture the one that. Yeah, so it might be the Predator.
Yeah. So this is just a giant dude. Like this other Predator he's holding is a regular size figure,
and he was
this
big
figure
as it was.
is like this figure is dwarfing it. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, guys, let me know. It will be on the website later this week as soon as it arrives. Thank you, NECA, for finally getting us some sweet-ass product. Thank you, everybody, for checking that stuff out. Thank you, Rob, for playing the guessing game. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Hit me up either in the shop, message, social media, whatever you need, and we can discuss details. But that's it for stuff at the store. If you aren't following on Instagram and Facebook, we did post the brand new comic releases this very morning. So check those out on the new books that are hopefully arriving this Wednesday. Shipping's been all over the place. So thank you, everybody, for being patient with us. We are going to get everything, just it might not come all at once. But thank you, everybody. Rob, we got any breaking news?
Well, we got some news. But I do want to say, listen, it's been some time since we've discussed omnibuses. John, this is a huge year for omnibus releases. Have you got any insight as to what's coming out in the next few months?
I order so many comics that I don't remember everything that's coming out, but I know we do order several omnibuses every month. They're usually doing new stuff, and they're reprinting a lot of old stuff. So we just got in, I want to say Volume 2 of Uncanny X-Men restocked. Yep. We got in the Winter Soldier omnibus restocked, which I think you might have picked up a year or so ago. So how about next week? I'll try and hit you guys up with some omnibus action, some stuff we have in stock and things.
Well, especially stuff that's coming out. Yeah, because I think in this first half of the year, John, there's some pretty big titles coming out. So so I imagine you'll be omnibuses.
Maybe I'll print up the list and I'll have Sarah do the announcements for all the omnibuses.
Okay, cool. So yeah, John, I did have some news, and as you know, it never fails. Every time like I do the news, I round it all up, I send it off to myself, and then a couple of things end up coming out, and I'm like, oh man, I would have included that. So very quickly before I actually jump into what I have written down, James Gunn has confirmed that he's going to be circling back to another DC television series following completion of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John. That he kind of confirmed that in an interview today. As you know, Peacemaker is dropping on Wednesday. They're dropping Thursday. They're doing the first 3 episodes that will be available on Crave up in Canada and HBO Max in the US. And during promotion for that, he did say, he would love to go back and do another series or season, of Peacemaker. But there is an unnamed DC properties that he was working on last night. So let's just say maybe it was Saturday night and Sunday, and into today he said he was working on a little bit while doing some stuff for Guardians Volume 3. So it hasn't been announced. He's keeping it tight-lipped, but that kind of came out. That shook some people a little bit. As well, we're not going to post the pictures on here right now, but if you were so inclined to go online onto Twitter and maybe do a search for, say, Batgirl, you may see some some interesting set designs. As we know, Michael Keaton's reprising his role as Bruce Wayne Batman in the Batgirl movie that will be filming, is currently filming right now in Scotland, I think, and will be airing on HBO Max later this year or next year. But there's some interesting set designs, John, that may tip off some mythology in the Batman world. So that was kind of just came out after I had gathered the news. But let's get into what I do have, John. We're going to start off, I guess, kind of a little bit sad, John. Since we did this show last week, the entertainment world has lost 3 Titans. Man, we've lost the great, wonderful Sidney Poitier. We lost director Peter Bogdanovich. And then last night, we lost the ever funny Bob Saget, who most people would remember from either Full House or the pre-TikTok version of America's Funniest Home Videos. John, do you have a memory of Bob Saget that maybe doesn't involve either of those properties where you were like, your mind was blown as to?
I think it was his when he really kind of shocked everybody. Early on, people just kind of like not in the know, was when he appeared on Entourage. So Entourage was the show with, Vinny Chase and E and it's a whole group of friends who got famous and stuff like that. And at one point they drop into like either a party or something and Bob Saget's there and he's kind of just being a little dirty. And with like, the sex and the drugs and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was the moment where a lot of people were like, what just happened? What Danny Tanner did? What?
Yeah.
Type thing. So I think that was it. And then when you watch some of his comedy, he kind of goes,
he's
there. I've heard him on the Howard Stern show. Like he was a really funny guy. So it's a shame. He was 65, I think.
Yeah.
And still, I think he's still, Lewis was mentioning to me, he was still actively podcasting and doing a bunch of stuff. So,
and he would perform stand-up the night before he had passed too. Right. So, for me, it was watching the documentary that Gilbert Gottfried did a movie called The Aristocrats, and it's a documentary about one of the dirtiest jokes in the history of entertainment. And Bob Saget goes on a close to an 8-minute version of this joke. And so I would highly recommend. It's not safe for work. It's not safe for kids running around. But if you have an opportunity this evening to Google Bob Saget, The Aristocrats, enjoy that filthy joke.
Right, can you spell aristocrats for the folks at home?
it's like a Disney movie, The Aristocats, with an extra R. Okay, John, as you know, here at the Sidekick Show, we are big fans of Jeff Lemire. He just signed an exclusive deal with Image Comics for upcoming projects launching this year, 2022 and beyond. Now, Jeff has also been writing and birthing the Black Hammer universe over at Dark Horse. So there's a lot of questions as to what was happening with that. Don't worry. He is still committed to doing more Black Hammer stuff. He's already got a bunch of projects laid out. He's still going to be doing that universe. Although, as an aside, we know that Dark Horse is up for sale. So who knows what happens with that. But I digress. He's also still doing part of, in 2021, he launched his own Substack channel where we talked about this maybe, I don't know, in the early fall, John, where a lot of these artists and creators were jumping over to Substack. And so he has a Substack only comic called Fish Flies that he's releasing, as well as some other material. He's still going to do that as well. So this guy has got like his hands everywhere, but as of this year and forward, any new projects will be exclusively for Image for the it's a non-defined amount of time, but it says for years to come. So, hey, listen, I think the guy struck gold with Gideon Falls. I mean, we know that that's been optioned for TV. He's got a lot of other properties. Royal City did really well with Image, and some of its other stuff. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, big congrats to Toronto's own Jeff Lemire for that exclusive deal with Image. John, are you a fan of the Fallout games?
Funny thing is, I haven't played any new ones. I used to be a Fallout fan from the old PC ones when I think they were called Wasteland or something like that.
Okay.
So the new ones with like Pip-Boy and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really follow, but I like the setting. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I tried. I had a difficult time getting into it, but that was that. But Andre rolls his eyes when I tell him that, and he wonders how I walk the earth. But way back in July of 2020, Amazon had announced that they would be producing a show based on the game. We had talked about it. last week we got confirmation that pilot episode is going to be directed by Jonathan Nolan, who is the brother of Dark Knight director Chris Nolan, as well as the helm, or he oversaw and oversees Westworld for HBO.
So it's Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan?
Yeah.
Is Jonathan the older one or the younger one?
He's younger. But he oversaw, there was a TV show called Person of Interest many years ago. He was a showrunner for that. He oversaw, and he's the showrunner for the Westworld reboot that's been happening over at HBO in Crave in Canada. And now he's going to be directing the pilot for this Fallout, and will also be an executive producer, just not a showrunner on it. So Jonathan Nolan has his hands in a lot of different properties as well, just like his brother, but he tends to stick more to the television side of things. But production is expected to start later this year or early next. So you can expect, I guess, a Fallout show in 2023-ish, 2024. And finally, John, I have some personal news I wanted to share with you. I'm old, man. I'm old.
Get out of town.
I am. And I'm feeling old, John, because in 2 days, on the 12th of January, my firstborn, John, the first thing I held in my hands and said, holy crap, I made this, is turning 13. And so I just wanted to wish my son, who likes to chime in here sometimes and sends me text messages while we're on, saying, you forgot about this.
It's fucking great. I think we should bring him on as EP one day and just have him like in the little window in the corner, just effing everything up.
Yeah. So
he's effing around with you.
He's turning 13. So I want to wish him a big happy birthday on Wednesday. Another COVID birthday for him, and not able to do much, but 13 years old, John. I don't know what you were doing when you were 13, but the
big 1-3.
Yeah. So there you go. Happy birthday, Noah.
Happy birthday.
And that, John, is the news.
All right. And that's the end of that chapter.
Hey,
thanks, Rob.
You know what? Steve was asking.
Yeah, he was asking about omnibuses, if you want to field that question quickly. Oh, your whole desk moved when you went to get that.
Well,
your house shifted.
I'm tethered into my computer. So here, let me try to get a trade paperback. All right, so quickly, a trade paperback has about 6 to 7 issues in it. An omnibus has roughly 40 up to 55 issues into it. So you can definitely tell the difference. I'm going to try to get that. There you go. So that
they're really cool because you don't have to chase things around. You usually have like a big chunk of it right there, and they look really nice on their shelf. So even if you only occasionally read them, you start lining them up on their shelves because the spines are so thick. It looks good. I see that's still wrapped up, Rob, so you're gonna have to break that in.
I know. Well, this one, as you know, I got from the store. Actually, I think
that's
my kids
last
got it
year.
It was for Father's Day, I think, last year, and so I haven't cracked it open yet. I have to, but that, and definitely if you're going to pick them up, get them from Heroes World. But yes, that is an omnibus. It's heavy as fuck, but it's yeah, that's right. But it's good to have. This is one of my favorite runs of Superman, the Gleason Tomasi run. So I had to have it in omnibus form. So there we go. So I just wanted to address Steve's query as to what the omnibus was, and to give him an indication of the difference.
Yeah, they started to do similar things. Steve mentions manga. They started to do similar things in manga. They would call them 3-in-1s, where they would put 3 mangas together, and then they would occasionally have omnibuses for the bigger titles like Attack on Titan and things like that. So we'll see. I feel like they got to get more onto that, because some volumes like One Piece are up to like volumes in the triple digits, I want to say. So people got to catch up somehow. It's ridiculous.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah. So, Rob, are we ready to rock and roll? Do we have any other news to wrap up? I don't think so. I think we got to get into this, because
we have to get into this, John, because people have been waiting. We're already a half hour in, so we're good to go.
All right. So we are talking 90s bracket. If you didn't hear at the top of the show, we did this for the 80s pretty much a year ago. So now we're diving into the era that is, I think, a little bit more known to us. I feel like the 80s, for a lot of the people tuning in, were kind of like childhood memories. And 90s goes into that. I know some of you guys are still babies, so 90s is probably going to track into that kid stuff, or maybe you're like watching vintage movies. But for us, 90s was that era where we actually, I think we're able to consume more of it and actually spend money and buy things from this area. Like you would buy actual DVDs or
Well,
VHS.
VHS back.
Yeah. A lot of these I look at, I'm like, I told Rob, I'm like, I should have went back to my mom's to check if my VHSs are still there, because I own some of the lesser known titles in VHS form when we get to these. So
yeah. So as a reminder, what we did is last year when we did the 80s bracket, for those who didn't have a chance to tune in, what we did is we decided we had to eliminate sci-fi based action movies and sports movies, because it had Rockies and this and that, and it was just way too difficult to try to place them all in there. We had some pretty finite rules about, how do you compete Rocky versus a guy with a machine gun, and how do you compete a guy with a machine gun jumping off a building with like the Predator, right? So we had to have defined rules. So we've actually implemented that once again. So there may be some of your favorite movies from the 90s that aren't on this list, but it doesn't mean we're not going to get to them. We will do a side bar sci-fi 90s bracket once we're done.
we're still going to talk about them, because I actually didn't edit my list.
You're a dummy. We've only had a week,
so they're going to come up. They're going to come up.
But what we're doing is we're doing the first half of the decade, because it became very clear, unlike the 80s, the 90s were rich and overflowing with action movies. And some of these may not pop out at you. You'd be like, well, what about these and that, this and that? Like, say, Bad Boys, for instance, is 1995. So we are doing the years 1990 ending in 1994 for this first part of the bracket. And as well, I think, John, have we set ourselves on a numerical value of how many movies we're doing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so are we doing a bracket of 12?
A number. We want to keep it in multiples of 8, basically, to keep the brackets even. But you never know what's going to happen tonight, as we discussed. So ideally we could have 16 versus 16, 8 versus 8, or I think Rob is suggesting a very awkward 12 and 12. But it would make a complete bracket of 24, which does fit into our charts and stuff like that. So I don't know where we want to start, Rob. Do we want to start by years? Like, do you want to go through the years and just talk a little bit about movies that maybe aren't making the cut?
Okay, sure. So I've
got the cut.
Yeah, so I've got a list of movies from the 90s. Now, again, everybody, I'm sorry if your favorite is not on here. If you are, like, if you're Scott and you're a fan of Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, I'm really sorry, Scott, but Abraxas is not going to make it on here. Neither will American Ninja 4: The Annihilation. Gord, I know you're a big fan of the American Ninja series. Lee Van Cleef is your personal hero. I apologize. We're not going to be able to get to that one. So and also if people who are fans of, like, say, Police Story and some of those Hong Kong action movies, I think we eliminated those as well, John, because it made things a lot more difficult. It
would make it difficult, because this was a golden era as well for the Hong Kong action movie, with Jet Li, Jackie Chan,
right?
All kinds of, like, heavy hitters kind of dropping their main catalog of movies that just made them who they are today. So I feel like we can have a whole separate bracket. Even Chow Yun-fat and a bunch of the John Woo type movies, I think, are all kind of
because Hard Boiled was in there.
Yeah,
and I loved Hard Boiled, but unfortunately we had to remove Hard Boiled. Sarah is upset. She says if Demolition Man doesn't win, but Sarah, we're not talking. Demolition Man's a sci-fi action, and unfortunately we are removing that one.
It was on my list.
Well, we can't do it. So let me just go. I'm going to go with the 1990s. Okay. Things that would be a bit more well known. All right. So, like, Air America with Mel Gibson, Robert Downey Jr. Another 48 Hours, which was a sequel, which the first one, 48 Hours, was in our original 80s bracket, John. I've got Bird on a Wire, also Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn. Blue Steel. It was a Catherine Bigelow movie, one of her first movies. Jamie Lee Curtis, Ron Silver.
I remember the title, at least.
Right. Death
I always
Warrant.
mix it up with Remington Steel.
Completely different. Death Warrant, John, which might be on our list, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is his
one of the first entries by Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 90s.
That's right.
Would it make my cut?
Maybe for you, it probably would. Chuck Norris returns with Delta Force 2. We also eliminated comic book movies, so unfortunately, if you are a big Dick Tracy fan, sorry.
Get out. No one is. That movie was a disaster.
John's second favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard 2, is on the list. La Femme Nikita, Hard to Kill. I Come in Peace, but John has a different name for the movie. I can't remember what it's called, but again, that's more of a sci-fi movie, I believe.
It is called Dark Angel. So that's why, Rob, we might have to throw these sci-fis in. I don't know.
I don't think so, man.
I feel like some of them
Lionheart,
are pretty good.
Marked for Death. Steven Seagal has a couple entries in the 1990s. Navy SEALs. Predator 2, RoboCop 2. Again, it's going to be part of the sci-fi action movie. The Rookie, Swordsman, and Total Recall, again, will be part of the sci-fi action. So, John, in your year of 1990, what is on your list? Because you and I have got to kind of figure out together what we're making here on our list. And of course,
so
I'm probably going to be responsible for making the stupid list, aren't I?
Yeah. So this is why I think it's actually up for debate. I think cutting comic book movies 100% is what we have to do, because we can do a whole thing about just comic book movies later on. But the sci-fi movies, I feel like, might make the cut.
You're nuts.
But we'll go to it. So for 1990, I was only thinking of sending one movie through.
Wow.
So shout outs to stuff like Darkman, but I think comic books, I think we'll have to do a whole comic book through the decades type thing. Die Hard 2 100% is not going to make it. I told Rob that. Death Warrant is the Van Damme vehicle where he's in prison. Actually not a fan of that movie. And even Another 48 Hours didn't work. Mark for Death, I was willing to entertain if you thought that was something worthy of going through, because you're more the Segal guy. But the only movie that I considered putting through was Total Recall, the Arnold Schwarzenegger sci-fi space fantasy 3 booby movie.
Even though I know it has 3 boobies, I've never heard somebody refer to it as a 3 booby movie. That's really funny. I like that. All right.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to consider, because we're actually getting kind of an uproar in the chat too. But we'll start narrowing down our numbers, and maybe this we'll be able to fit it, because I feel like Rob told me he had 18 movies from this era.
I narrowed the shit down, man.
I feel like that's a bit much, because I don't believe a lot of these are contenders. As much as I would like to send something like Lionheart through, it is 100% not a contender. Shout outs to La Femme Nikita, Michelle. So in looking at these lists, there's actually not a lot of female representation, which is unfortunate. I think a bunch of Cynthia Rothrock movies are in here, but unfortunately they're not good at all. Point of No Return, I think, is in this pocket, which is the remake of La Femme Nikita, I believe, with Bridget Fonda or something like that. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Like what
here's why I think out there. But here's the problem, I think, is how do we, if we're including these sci-fi action movies, how do they compete? This is the same problem that we had when we did it in the 80s. How does Terminator 2
that's my problem. That's the problem.
How does Terminator 2 and everything else
in here, because it has to dominate, you know what I mean? So it makes it kind of not fun. So
so that's why
Point of No Return was a really weak remake in it. 100%. I think she's correct, but it did introduce people into watching that older movie. Here's what I have. Here's what I'm putting through for 1990, John. This is what my so let me hear it now, and I'm gonna shoot them down so we can make some room.
Okay, yeah, Scott, you're right. It was 1993. For Cliffhanger. Okay, 1990. Hard to Kill. Okay. Marked for Death.
You can't have 2 Seagal movies from 90s in.
Of course, there's so many. What are you talking about? Navy SEALs.
Both of them come from this.
Yeah, but we're doing from 1994. They could be fighting off against each other. Navy SEALs.
Okay.
Charlie Sheen.
Question Navy SEALs, yeah.
And The Hunt for Red October, which I'm willing to concede. However,
that's out. That's out. I will agree that it's a good movie, but on this action list, I think that's out.
Okay.
Okay. And I feel like you should only get one of those 2 Seagal movies in, because I argue for you to actually describe the difference between the 2 of them. I don't have
there are some other Seagal movies in this.
That's what I'm saying. I think his movies later on are much better, because I do believe in the latter half of the 90s, Under Siege is on there. See, a lot of people agree that Hunt for Red October is not an action movie. So first off the bat, that's not in. I'm willing to not take Total Recall in, because I don't feel like it's one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I was just saying, if I had to choose something from the 90s.
I think it belongs, though. I think Total Recall, Terminator 2, Demolition Man, like I feel like all of those belong together. Predator 2, even like with Donald Glover, like I think it all, not Donald Glover, whatever. Like I think that they all belong together in their own separate universe, as opposed to being with these action. Like this is the same idea that we have with these cop army guys and this and that, right?
Yeah, but with that argument, I Come in Peace, aka Dark Angel, is a Dolph Lundgren vehicle where he is a cop fighting an alien.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. It's the same as Predator 2.
It's basically a Predator 2.
Right.
Actually, I guess Predator 2 rips it because Predator 2 is technically after. But let's see. Like, okay. I feel like 1990, could you almost skate by with not taking any of those movies?
No, I think Marked for Death at least, because you want to know why? It's at least streaming on Disney Plus.
All right. Do you want me to? Okay, let's start I guess I'll start a quick list of must go throughs, and we're gonna see how much room we have. So I'm gonna put Marked for Death for now.
Okay.
As your must go through.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna rhyme off what we had for 1991. And somebody said my list is whack, but it's only from 1 year, man. Okay, 1991 we had Backdraft, Double Impact, another Jean-Claude Van Damme vehicle.
There's two of them.
Right. Final Impact, Fist of Fury, 1991, FX2, Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man, which I really enjoyed it when I was younger, John, with Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. I did. I thought it was a great movie. Hudson Hawk.
Bruce Willis, yeah.
Yeah, Out for Justice, another Segal movie.
See, that's why you can't.
Anybody thinks about a loophole.
These three movies are interchangeable. Marked for Death, Hard to Kill, and Out for Justice are three very interchangeable movies. So I feel like if you get Out for Justice in, then you're good. You know what I mean?
All right. Point Break, which we've
100%.
Already. Yeah. Yes, Ricochet. Also have I'm Showdown in Little Tokyo, Dolph Lundgren, Brandon Lee, Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth, the Boz.
That is not in.
Yeah, no, I know that. The Human Shield, The Last Boy Scout, Perfect Weapon. Okay, so Perfect Weapon. That's right. So that I'm editing a lot out of here of what came out in 1991. So John, what's your list of 1991 look like?
So 91, I only sent through Point Break and T2 Judgment Day, which I feel like there must be a way for us to get that out on a technicality, because I feel like it's just going to win no matter what we do. And Last Boy Scout, just because it's Tony Scott with Shane Black. Bruce Willis and Damian Wayans in it. And I feel like it's something we should have watched at Christmas time. So I want to kind of get it in here.
And Billy
I
Blanks.
do shout out The Perfect Weapon, which Jeff Speakman, I do have a special place in my heart for that movie, but it is not good enough to make to be a contender. Even Ricochet with Denzel Washington, I remember liking that when I was a kid. Shout out to Cuffs. Did you ever watch Cuffs with Christian Slater? I did.
Christian Slater. Oh yeah, man. So for me, I had Out for Justice, which is not a surprise, and Point Break. So I'm willing.
Would you choose Out for Justice over Marked for Death?
Well, Marked for Death, is that the one that has with the
See,
the
you don't even know.
That's
the problem. That's the problem with these Segal movies. You don't know. At least for Jean-Claude Van Damme, we know Death Warrant is the jail movie. Lionheart is the street fighting movie. And
Double Impact
Double Impact is the one where there's two of them.
Twins.
With Bolo Young. I don't remember what last name he was going by back then.
But I agree with you with The Last Boy Scout and Point Break. So I'm going to put an asterisk next to Out for Justice, because I'm going to have to figure out which one I really want. But Point Break and Last Boy Scout, I'm good with that.
I feel like I could just put a sticky in here that says Steven Seagal movie, Rob's Choice. Because that's what it...
Yes, because 1992 is coming up. Okay, so John, 1992, we had Aces, Iron Eagle 3, which nobody wanted to watch. American Samurai, El Mariachi, Robert Rodriguez's first movie. Again, we talked about Full Contact, Hard Boiled, but they're not going to be in it. But both Chow Yun Fat movies. Cuffs, which you had just mentioned. Lethal Weapon 3, John. You know I'm a big fan of the Lethal Weapon series.
I was going to ask if Lethal Weapon is going to get any representation in this.
We'll talk about it. Live
I don't know.
Wire,
I don't think it does.
Mission of Justice, Passenger 57, John, Wesley Snipes, Patriot Games, Sneakers with the aforementioned Sidney Poitier, who had just passed away, also starring Robert Redford. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I don't consider that an action movie, but it is according to this list.
Get out of town.
It is
with that is with Sylvester Stallone and the oldest golden girl. Estelle,
she was the youngest.
Right?
She was the youngest golden
girl. She was the youngest?
Actually. She was. And Under Siege, John. Another Steven Seagal movie.
See, this is why you can't see. You were making fun of me because you thought I was going to suggest every single Van Damme movie, and I've actually catered my Van Damme choices very, very slim. So I feel like Under Siege is probably, maybe Executive Decision is the pinnacle of, but he's barely in it. He's not even in Executive Decision. So no. I feel like Under Siege, if you're going to have a Steven Seagal movie in here, it's 100% Under Siege. No, sorry, Steve. I also watched Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, I think we all.
And I thought it was all right at the time.
So actually, Eric brings up a movie called Gladiator. Cuba Gooding Jr. and I can't remember the guy. He was a white guy, Tommy something. He was in A Few Good Men. He was the guy who got the code red ordered on him. Anyways, it's a Brian Dennehy. It's actually a wicked boxing movie, but unfortunately, it's a sport movie. Okay, so John, what did you have for 1992?
Okay, so 92. Let me see. So 92, I was only gonna put through Universal Soldier with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren.
But it's a sci-fi movie, John. Bring them back from the dead.
That's why I think we need to make room for the sci-fi movies.
No, I think they'll get blown away. They'll get blown away.
How will they get blown away?
Okay, I had El Mariachi and Under Siege. But I did have special consideration for Passenger 57 and Lethal Weapon 3, which, John, I decided to not put that through. I thought, I don't know how Lethal Weapon 3, as much as I love that movie, I don't think it holds up. It doesn't have a chance of winning in any of the brackets. So,
yeah, I feel like 100% Under Siege is in there. What was the other one you?
I
shout
put
to Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. Is that not 92? I feel like that's 92. I might have.
Oh, it is. Sorry,
yes,
years. You were right. Rapid Fire Brandon Lee is 92. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of want to put that on there just because I want people to watch it, but I feel like it's not really a contender. It's a very cliche action movie, but it's a lot of fun to watch. Sarah actually agrees with you that for Under Siege. She did mention Toy Soldiers, which I think you said a bunch of people mentioned Toy Soldiers before. Did they?
No, I think it was just Sarah mentioning it like 900 times. Toy Soldiers was actually a really cool movie. Sean Astin.
I feel like it's classified as something else because I didn't see it on any of my.
You're right. It actually isn't listed as an action movie for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's listed as a drama movie, but it's not listed underneath these action lists that we had pulled up. So
okay, I'm gonna pull up IMDb while you mull over if you really want to send through Lethal. So you're withdrawing Lethal Weapon. I mean Lethal Weapon 3.
Yes.
I'm trying to find out what the genre. Toy Soldier seems to classify as a drama action thriller. So I don't know if it's going to be able to. Yeah, I feel like it's not going to quite fit in here. Sorry, Sarah, but you never know. I feel like we're whittling this list down a lot because Rob had like freaking 10 Seagal movies on his list.
Okay, what do you have next, John? Oh, so here, so I'm gonna hit up 1993's movies so we can have a remember. Where am I? I'm in 94. 1993. American Ninja 5. American Yakuza. Back in Action, John. Billy Blanks and Roddy Piper. Best of the Best 2. Cliffhanger. Scott was mentioning Cliffhanger earlier with Sly Stallone and John Lithgow. Let me see. Excessive Force with Thomas Ian Griffith, hot off of Karate Kid 3. Extreme Justice. Hard Target. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let me see. Judgment Night with Emilio Estevez and Cuba Gooding Jr. Last Action Hero with our buddy Arnold. Nowhere to Run. Also Van Damme. Only the Strong with Mark Dacascos. The Point of No Return, which we talked about, is a poor remake of La Femme Nikita. Sniper, Tom Berenger. I'm not sure if you remember that one. Billy Zane. Surf Ninjas. I know you're a big fan of Surf Ninjas, John.
Get out. It was Rob Schneider trying to play a teenager, I think, and he was way older than everybody else in that movie. So it's a funny movie to watch.
And weirdly enough, they put the Fugitive on this list, but I would never consider The Fugitive to be an action movie. So, John, what was your list for 1993?
Okay, so 93, this is why we have to make the room. Demolition Man, 100% was going in for me. Hard Target was one of my actual Van Damme hard choices, or I mean like hard in, like it has to go in. Last Action Hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think we have to watch that and see how it holds up. And I think it's actually going to be more appreciated now. And that was pretty much it.
So that's what I had for mine.
I love Only the Strong. I own it on VHS. I'll have to dig that out. Point of No Return, Michelle mentioned, that's not a good remake of La Femme Nikita. I think you want to watch that. And I think kind of we're excluding foreign films, it looks like, at the moment, because I feel like we're going to get into a whole different thing. Someone else mentioned Iron Monkey, Eric, I think. So I think we can have a whole different bracket with Hong Kong action, because this was, like I said, a golden age. But yeah, I don't know why The Fugitive on there. Boiling Point and Passenger 57 are two Wesley Snipes movies that were cool, but I've never rewatched them since. So I don't think it would get more.
I see that Gordon and Scott are talking about Reservoir Dogs. Listen, Tarantino's first movie. I love Reservoir Dogs. It unfortunately is not considered an action movie. It's a drama.
Yeah, we're going for silly action here, I feel like. Falling Down was on my short list, but
it was on my Falling Down. Okay, yeah, interesting. But see, I don't
like that is not an action. That was more
not.
Like a
it's a
thriller.
Yeah, but a guy who loses it. I did have Cliffhanger as my slip in if we needed it. And then John, I'm gonna give you a rundown of what we have for 1994. A Low Down Dirty Shame, Keenan Ivory Wayans, John. Beverly Hills Cop 3, which I think we could just say right now is never getting into any bracket whatsoever.
Sorry.
Blown Away, Jeff Bridges, Tommy Lee Jones. That was actually a pretty cool movie. Clear and Present Danger, Death Wish 5, also not making any type of bracket. Drop Zone, Wesley Snipes. Let me see. Hellbound, Leon, The Professional, with Gary Oldman, Natalie Portman, and Jean Reno. Men of War with your buddy Dolph Lundgren. No Escape. On Deadly Ground with Segal. Speed with Keanu Reeves.
100%.
Surviving the Game, Ice-T. Terminal Velocity, Charlie Sheen. The Getaway, Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, not good enough. The Specialist with Stallone. I feel like you've mentioned this movie before.
I have. It's not a good movie. It has one fantastic scene where he wrecks some people on a bus. But that's pretty much it.
And True Lies, James Cameron's True Lies. So I only have 2 for 1994, John. What do you have?
Whoa, 94 is my heaviest year, I think. Oh no, I got 4, but one of them is cut. The Crow.
Yes, I agree with that. But
Speed 100% has to go in.
Sorry, I had 3. I had Speed. Sorry, I did have 3.
Even though we watched it recently, but fuck, I'll watch it again.
Yeah,
it's so good. I want to put through Time Cop, but if I have to choose, I'll choose Hard Target over Time Cop. And I think you were complaining about sci-fi, but I feel like we can fit sci-fi in at this rate. True Lies.
Okay, so I agree with True Lies and Speed. I added in The Professional, which sometimes is called Leon The Professional. I call it The Professional. So I'm looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm looking at 9 movies on our list right now, John.
Okay, hold on. So let's go through the list here. Thanks everybody. We're we're gonna So sorry, Gordon. The Crow is not going on because it's a comic book movie, and I think we're gonna do something. Sorry, I read the comment above that, which got me sidetracked. I don't know which movie he's talking about, but I kind of want to check out what that movie is, John.
Or the
Assassin. Is that Assassins or is that the Specialist?
The Specialist. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe there's two scenes. Maybe Jonathan's right. The Crow. I don't think we're gonna do. On Deadly Ground. That's the Indian reservation movie where I think he has to save the. I don't remember what happened in that. True Lies 100% has to go on that. Let me see. Gord says unsubscribed. I guess since we're not doing the Crow, we did the Crow already.
We did. We actually had
I think we 100% have to do a comic book movies of.
We will of the 90s
all time because we want to have the Punisher in there.
That's right. 1989, the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren and Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah. The Crow is based off a comic book, actually, Scott. I don't know if you're familiar, and he's actually considered a superhero, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But even though, it's kind of out there. Comedy. Yeah, some people are talking about comedy films. So let me pop up what I jotted down quickly, and I think I missed a whole bunch because we were just going too fast. So let me share. I got a Jamboard going here. The wonderful things you learn from having your kids in online school.
Which won't last very much longer, John.
That's what you think. Let me know what I forgot.
The government in Ontario just announced kids going back January 17th. Okay.
So Cliffhanger was on the cusp. What am I missing here? Do you have your list handy?
I have Marked for Death.
Mm-hmm.
Point Break.
Or this is Steven Seagal movie.
Get out of here! Don't be an ass. All right.
TBD.
Hey. Okay.
I feel like you get one.
Point Break. How do you? Okay, but in all fairness, how do we limit ourselves to one Van Damme movie, one Seagal movie, when they were so instrumental for 90s action movies? That's what I don't understand. Okay. Point Break. Last Boy Scout. Yeah.
Sorry, what's missing?
Last
go through your list. And
I'm trying, but you keep talking over me.
No, can I keep interrupting you? You should be able to fix this.
Well, I have Last Action Hero. You've got that. Speed, Professional, and True Lies.
True Lies is on here, yes.
What's the one next to Under Siege? Do you have Under Siege twice?
Do I have Under Siege twice?
No, but what's the one that's next to Under Siege?
Under Siege is Universal Soldier.
Oh, get the hell out of here. That's not. It's sci-fi, John.
I think that's fine. I think we can fit the sci-fi. The only thing is we have to figure out some way to get Terminator 2 out. I feel like Demolition Man has to be on here.
So,
I'm sorry, Sarah. It kind of randomly seems to pick a font for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's based on how big the title is. Scott and Sarah really want Toy Soldiers in. I don't remember this movie at all.
So, here's the problem then. Do we do, if we're throwing in sci-fi, you've got Predator 2, RoboCop 2.
Predator 2 does not make the cut. RoboCop 2 100% does not make the cut.
I think Predator 2 though is a decent action movie. Total Recall from 1990. I'm trying to run through this.
I don't feel like Total Recall makes it. Well,
you're crazy.
I'm fine if Total Recall doesn't make it. So
oh my god, you're nuts. Terminator 2. Let me see.
That's the thing. We need some way to get Terminator 2.
Well, that's impossible, John. Free Jack.
Free Jack.
Yeah, man.
Stop trying to break the system and actually pick good movies. And you'll see that we can fit these in.
You've got Universal Soldier. I'm trying to go.
I don't have to have Universal Soldier if something like Demolition Man is
Demolition Man. Let me see.
Hold on, let me see if I'm missing anything from here.
I know you wanted Surf Ninjas. We're not doing it.
No, we're not. You should definitely watch it for the Rob Snyder effect, which is absolutely hilarious.
I felt like somebody else talked about another Somebody else talked about a sci-fi movie, and I can't think of what it is now.
You think Total Recall? You think Total Recall?
Oh, Time Cop. Time Cop.
Yeah, I put it on there.
Yeah, so for those who are just joining us, like Dominic, who's saying The Matrix and this and that, yeah, I agree. But the problem is that we're doing 1990 to 1994 first because it was such a huge decade of action movies. Did you put Toy Soldiers down?
I did not put Toy Soldiers in. I think these guys really want to see it on here, though.
Here's the
problem. The fact that it was omitted from the action list makes me want to like give some of these, because we don't want the list that's going to be the same as everybody else's list, right? We don't want you to look up, top whatever action movies and see the same list that Collider does and all these other major places do. Yeah, sorry, folks. Just to be clear, yeah, we're doing the first half of the 90s and creating one branch of the bracket, and then we're gonna, in theory, have the latter half of the 90s on the other side of the bracket. They're gonna kind of converge in the middle and face off.
So Toy Soldiers is currently streaming on the CTV Movies app, which is a free. It has ads, but aside from that, it's free. So you could watch. I just feel like T2 is just too much of a heavy hitter, John. Can we make this, if you really want to put these sci-fi action, let's make this then, if you would concede to this. Mm-hmm. That Terminator 2 is an automatic buy right through to the semifinals of the overall 90s bracket. I think because it's just going to blow whatever it faces up against in this first half is going to blow. So I think we just say like T2 has to go right through to the very end, like semi bracket, the last four, right? When we take like the best two
to slide it in, or just say, hey, is this movie? So T2 and the Matrix maybe are like auto in the finals, or we keep those separate.
I say we kept them separate, but the problem is that like where do you put those then? So. Because I really do believe Terminator 2 and The Matrix are the two movies that really pretty much define action movies in the 90s. One in 1991, one in 1999. Like, I don't know how we get around that. So maybe we have to eliminate those completely because they're just too much of a juggernaut.
Okay, so let's put this down here, and we'll deal with that later. You guys let us know in the chat. Are you okay with us just arbitrarily having some fun and taking off T2 and the Matrix, and maybe we just save those for follow-up episode, and we just talk about them in general and how they changed the genre and things like that. But yeah, so let's look at what we got here. The Segal movie to be determined. I feel like you shouldn't get it because you don't know the difference between those three movies.
Hard to Kill is that he wakes up in a coma, and it was with Kelly LeBrock was the nurse and ended up being his wife in real life. I feel that Marked for Death was the Jamaican gang that were out to get him. That were.
Yeah, no, see, Michelle says, yeah, T2 wins it.
So that's what I just think that T2 and Matrix have to be eliminated completely. It's just too hard. We have to acknowledge their greatness, that they're just too much of a juggernaut in these action movies. How do you put T2 up against your favorite Con Air?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, sorry. Con Air loses hands down. So almost everything loses hands down to T2.
And the Matrix.
You know what? I would be hard-pressed to have True Lies lose at all. So I feel like True Lies wins this entire branch.
You are 5 ways from silly. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, let's look at what we've got here on the board first and see if any of these come out. So according to the chat, I think Point Break 100% has to stay. True Lies for sure. Demolition Man, it seems. Under Siege. Last Action Hero and Leon seem to. Oh, Speed has to. So Speed is guaranteed in as well. The Steven Seagal movie keeps moving away. So unless Last Boy Scout, we think we want to kick Last Boy Scout because it seems to never make these type of lists. So maybe there's a reason
you have it. You have it there.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying maybe it doesn't go through. Because we've got too many. We want maybe 12 ideally. 2, 4,
Okay, so
6,
you've
8,
got 11,
10,
so we
12,
have
yeah.
one more spot. So what are the ones at the
In
bottom?
theory, folks, let us know what you guys are thinking. We'll jump to the chat in a second. Rob, I'll let you think out loud for a second here.
What do you have at the bottom? I can't. You have Total Recall.
So we have Cliffhanger.
No, okay, that's out. That's out.
Cliffhanger's out.
Yeah, I say we get rid of Cliffhanger.
I'm inclined to agree with you because I've never rewatched it since my youth. Universal Soldier, favorite for me, but I can understand why it's not as strong.
Okay,
Total Recall.
I'm willing to get rid of the Segal movie, even though because how many Van Damme movies do you have? You have 2. You have Time Cop and Hard Target.
There's 2 Van Damme movies in here, and if I get Universal Soldier in, that's a 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, so yeah, some people say yeah. So Jonathan Yo says Cliffhanger is a great Stallone movie, and then Lewis says you never need to rewatch Cliffhanger. So I'm kind of torn here. Fraser really loves Cliffhanger too, as well. It looks.
No, I enjoy the movie. I just don't think it's going to hold up.
I was gonna say, yeah, one of the criteria that I think we need to have just in movies and in having these types of fun activities is these movies have to be rewatchable. Some movies can be a fantastic watch once experience, but the fact if you can't rewatch it, I feel like they don't belong on this particular list. Shout out to Michelle. Sorry, we're confusing the crap out of Michelle. Sorry, Michelle.
Don't worry, me too.
100% don't blame you. But yeah, we are including sci-fi. But we are thinking of
under protest,
kicking out Terminator 2 under protest. But look, there's like no.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand.
What movie would you want on here that didn't make it? Because if you cut sci-fi,
I understand. I understand your point. I understand your point. That's fine. So we just need to figure out that last movie. I know you really want Universal Soldier in there.
No, I'm willing. Everybody in the chat, let me know if Universal Soldier has to go or not. I'm fine with that.
What about so people are saying what about Total Recall? Do you think so that would be too many Stallone Arnold movies, right? We've got Last Action and True Lies.
I feel like Total Recall, as fun as you guys might think it is, it's one of my least rewatched Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Interesting.
Plus, we have True Lies on this list right now. Right. I think Last Action Hero is worth a look to see how well it is possibly aged.
I don't disagree with you. I also think that you're saying that to kiss up to Sarah because she kept bugging you to watch Last Action Hero. No,
Last Action. Oh, let me grab this out for you guys.
This guy's got his laser.
Just to show you that Last Action Hero was one of my jams back in the day. So if you young cats don't know what the hell this is not a record for the soundtrack. This is a laser disc. And this is how we had to watch movies back in the day when you're kind of getting into the high def game.
Yeah.
And there was so much real estate on the back cover that it was basically a Wikipedia entry. So this was Wikipedia before Wikipedia was a thing. So although I love Sarah anyways, so I feel like I don't know if she was hinting that this was on her list in her Instagram chat, but I do have this on Laserdisc as well.
It's that last one.
Okay, I'm taking off Total Recall.
Okay. Put the list back up so we can see it.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought it was up.
No,
I hit the wrong button. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So now we really have Universal Soldier or the Segal movie, and I know that you're not going to want the Segal movie. Most people are going to say they want.
I'm fine with that. I feel like I've gotten a lot in, but I feel like you have Under Siege. The thing is, you're trying to slide in basically what would have dominated the 80s version of Segal. You know what I mean? So out for those movies would have been really hot in the 80s if he managed to sneak those out in the 80s. But now he's coming into the 90s with the kind of old school renegade cop type movie, which I feel like we've kind of progressed a little bit past, although we do have Point Break and Speed on here. But I feel like Keanu did such a different thing with cops in those two movies.
See, now I wouldn't mind El Mariachi, but I just don't think people would appreciate.
I think is Desperado not in the bracket later?
Later it is. Yeah. It's in 1995. All right, just put Universal Soldier up there because Because if one of the criteria is for us to be able to have these movies to be rewatchable, I've rewatched Universal Soldier a lot when I was younger, like in my teens and later. I haven't seen it since then. I think one of the things that you and I also have to recognize is that during this time, we were working in video stores as well. So we were probably watching the shit out of most of these movies because we had accessible like to us to watch all the time, right? So
Yeah.
Lewis, Pulp Fiction is not on there. It's 1994, but it's a drama movie. It's not considered an action movie, man. And
It's
Tombstone
funny how
is
some of these things are defined, right?
I would love Tombstone to be in there. It's a Western movie, but then it starts to get a bit tricky as to what are the Westerns that you throw in there, Lewis. Again, I'm a huge Western fan. We've talked about this before, but we have listen, this is the same problem we have with the 80s bracket. It's so wide to try to narrow it down. People are going to be like, wait, what about this? We got to do what we can to narrow this thing down. So I think this is our bracket of 12, John.
All right. So can I take off this Segal movie to
yeah,
be
I'm
determined?
just I will hold it against you. I just need you to know that, but that's fine.
And then we'll leave T2 down. Like we'll keep T2 in our minds as some type of like fly-in final boss or something like that.
Well, I think that's that's like the benchmark, right? Like that's the
I think yeah. If you ever played Street Fighter and you beat everybody perfect, all of a sudden the last guy that would jump in was Akuma. So maybe Matrix and Terminator 2 are going to jump in last minute, and we'll just decide if the winner of our bracket would be able to beat either of those two movies, which I don't think it is going to be able to, but I think this is a lot more fun in this particular exercise. We're not going to do them in this particular order. So if you're listening on the audio, yeah. We'll worry about that later because this is one half of the branch. So I'm going to have to figure out how to create this one side of the branch if we want to start watching. So Rob, start thinking out loud. Do you want to start watching these movies now, or do you want to hit the other half of the bracket before we start doing that?
No, I think we do this.
Folks, let us know in the comments what you think of this list so far. Are these movies you would want to watch? Do you understand our reasoning behind this? I know it's all over the place, but we're just trying to have fun, folks. And we hope that you will enjoy watching these movies or at least reminiscing about them with us. So go ahead, think out loud, Rob.
You know, I think we do this half bracket, like, because these movies are very specific. Once we hit 1995, things change. And I don't know if some of these have a chance to go up against some of those later 90s movies like Con Air, like The Rock. It was just a different, like, cinema really, like, you literally can draw a line from 94, 95 right down the middle, and you can see the difference in those action movies. Bad Boys. So I really think we have to do this bracket to create at least our top two, right? And then we do the second half bracket, 94 to 99. We'll have those final two, and then we can face those four off against one another.
Yeah, well, okay. If that's the case, Rob, if you want to show down this particular bracket, 12 is an awkward number. Is the problem? We're gonna get a buy in there somewhere. It's just the way a single elimination works. We're at one point we're gonna have three movies, kind of throwing down. So
what number do we? What number makes the bracket better then?
8 or 16.
Well, we can't have 16 yet.
Yeah, we can roll with 12. It'll be a little weird, but we can totally do it. Yeah, Scott says 16.
Yeah, but which 16? Now we just fought over trying to get down to 2 now, or to 12. Now we got.
I feel like we did a really good job. Movies. I feel like we did a really good job whittling it down.
Yes. I think we leave it. You don't think so?
Yeah, these lasers did cost me a pretty penny back in the day. I did work at a video store, so I did get them at cost, but that was still a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think we did a pretty good job with this. I feel like cutting 4 movies is not going to work out great for us.
So there's either cutting 4 or adding 4. That's the problem.
Yeah, I feel like adding 4 is not a good idea.
Well, because we're not going to end up watching them.
Yeah. So I feel like, well, okay, for example, if we were to cut 4,
No, it's
don't
easier
kill
to
me,
add
people.
4.
I would probably do something like it'd be a toss up between these 2 movies because I don't remember these 2 movies that much, Leon and Toy Soldiers. I feel like Leon's got a bit more of a pedigree.
Yeah.
So if I were to do something and cut it down to 8, I would do like that. But I feel like people, I don't know. Rob, do you remember the
Yep.
Toy Soldiers?
Oh yeah. Will Wheaton, like I said, Sean Astin. No, it was in a boarding school, and when it's all of the you would actually probably enjoy it. It's very typical 90 action movie. It's decent, especially when you were like that age. You were like, holy shit, I'm in a boarding school and my dad is the head of this company and corporation, and terrorists try to take over the school so they can hold the kids hostage against the world's richest, America's richest families holding their kids hostage. It's a decent movie.
Okay, it seems like most people are game for doing 12, even though it doesn't work out cleanly sports wise. But whatever. Someone gets a buy later on is the situation.
The only other thing we could do is you can actually throw up. We can easily add 4. Like you can put like Passenger 57. You can throw up Cliffhanger. You can throw in.
The thing is, I'm not gonna those movies that we cut. I don't think I'm gonna watch. I feel like this is a strong set of movies here. So
well,
yeah. So shout outs. I know you guys. So Lewis, I know there's no HK or Asian films, and Michelle, I think the French film La Femme Nikita. We're just looking for excuses to kind of chop this down so we don't have to get too unwieldy. In the HK movies, Lewis, if you want to get together with me and do HK movie throwdown, I should have brought the rest of my box of Laserdisc, and it is filled with Jet Li, Jackie Chan movies of this era. So
Sarah wants to know how many movies we're watching per week. Only the 2. But John, I mean, honestly, we could easily throw in there Cliffhanger, Nowhere to Run, Passenger 57.
Nowhere to Run definitely doesn't go up.
Well, I'm just trying to find things that are on are and marked for death because they're all streaming. They're all available on streaming services. At least we know that they're able to be streamed. If you really
I feel like these are such classic movies that you would want to own or rent a copy of these anyways. I feel like not compromising on the 90s bracket because of lack of streaming, unless it's not even available to rent, which is
Scott's cutting like crazy. Okay,
no,
so
I think he's saying who's going to get the. I think he's assigning auto buys, which
okay.
Actually, I might have to do. That's a great idea, Scott. So what I can do is I can make sure some of these movies that we know are really solid
to the second round.
Yeah. We can at least have some fun with the lesser movies. So I think
let's just do that. That's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna stick with
Michelle's like, please God, no, don't add 4 more movies.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna stick with the 12. We'll do the auto buy for some of those. Like you're right, they will go to the second round automatically. So then we can at least have some fun with these other ones that we haven't seen in some time. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rob, for
it's exhausting.
For being willing to compromise. Rob was very adamant about no sci-fi, no comic, no.
It makes things way too difficult. You can't have like you throw in Batman Returns, Darkman, The Crow, your favorite Dick Tracy, or at least
nobody's favorite.
half of that title is your favorite. It gets to be it gets to be way too the Ninja Turtles, the original trilogy is in there, and the first 2 are in the first part of the 90s. So it's like it's an imbalance. They don't match up with the other ones.
Turtles 1 is probably the only one that's worthy of advancing.
They don't match up though. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you put Batman against True Lies? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just 2 different genres. It just doesn't match.
Okay, let me read this out just in case you're listening on the audio and you don't know what the hell's going on because you don't see this visual aid. It's a really ghetto Google Jamboard. So we're gonna have our 12 awkward number, but whatever. We're gonna do it. 12 movies from 1990 to 1994, and they're gonna go up against the latter half of 95 to 99. It took me a second there to figure that math out. It is going to be Point Break, Keanu Reeves, Speed, also Keanu Reeves, True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Leon the Professional with I forgot what that guy's name is. He's
Jean Reno,
somebody, right?
Jean
Reno. Yeah. He's a huge part of culture. I feel like we see a lot of like the professional type characters in things. Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and Sandra Bullock. So Sandra Bullock is on here twice at least. Under Siege with Steven Seagal, Last Action Hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and who was it? What's the kid's name? Do you remember? Is he somebody?
Who cares?
Really?
Seriously,
right,
you want me to look it up?
No, it's fine.
Yes, and you know what else? I am the hero. So shut up.
I don't think he wasn't anybody important, was he?
I know a lot of people hated him. Toy Soldiers with a bunch of people I don't know. Rob can probably fill in on that one.
Oh, Austin O'Brien, that was the kid? All right.
Okay, he must be a somebody. Jean-Claude Van Damme again with Time Cop.
Wolverine, between the lines.
Great scene. And Universal Soldier, also Jean-Claude Van Damme. So there might be a little bit more Van Damme representation than Rob would have liked in this.
Well, I think an argument can be made, and we're not going to do it now. However, in an alternate universe, John, it would be interesting to have Segal movies, 90s Segal versus Van Damme Segal, Van Damme 90s movies up against each other, because I think like they were the dominant action for like street level action. Do you know what I'm saying? Movies, but at any rate, yeah, I'm good. I'm down with this. John, you're going to do a randomizer, and you'll let us know. Follow our social medias. When are you going to put that up of what the first pairing is going to be?
Give me a night or so to try and throw these in there and arrange them so it's in a fun configuration. So they will be semi rigged.
Okay, so definitely that seems against the rules. So definitely it's as if all of a sudden you're the Russian judge for a figure skating competition, John. So definitely check out our social media stuff. We're going to tell you what movies are going to get starting to watch, and also we'll throw in where you can watch it if it's a subscription based, like on a streaming service. We'll let you know. John, I had a lot of fun. I hope we've kept people for almost 90 minutes here, so we should probably be getting.
So
I out of here.
Yeah, I've got an idea for what to do, and I think we're going to have 12 from one year and 12 from the other year, and they're going to converge in the middle. Yeah, so I think we don't have to worry about the weird numbers. So thanks everybody. We're going a little bit long. Thanks everybody for sticking with us and coming up with your movies. So next, I guess it's a couple weeks down the road. Keep your 95 to 99 movies, and then we're gonna throw these into a pairing and figure this out for you folks. Yeah,
cool.
I think that is that all she wrote, Rob?
That's all she wrote, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Please check out the Heroes World podcast. Last week we talked about Mandalorian episode 2. As well, there's a TGIF show with Andre and Jesse. Andre is also doing a Star Wars with the Star Wars crew, including our friend Scott here. I believe they do it on Wednesday or Wednesday nights, following the Mandalorian. They do their little review as well because they are Star Wars diehards.
Book of Boba Fett.
What am I saying?
Mandalorian.
You know what? This is the problem that we discussed. They're interchangeable. So the Book of Boba Fett. So Scott and Andre and two others are definitely reviewing that every time it drops. So whatever. Have your notification bells on so that you see when the videos drop. And then we'll see you back next week. We'll be reviewing 2 of these movies throughout the course of the week, and we'll debate them next Monday 8 p.m. here on the Heroes World Sidekick show. Although it could be 8:15, I'll let you know, John, because apparently schools are going back starting Monday the 17th. So in Ontario, gear up, we're all going to get sick. But I hope everything. Scott, I'm going to be messaging you with respect to Dune. I happen to pick up a couple of things, and I think you'll love them. So that's all I got. John, anything else for you, bud?
No, I think we're good. You can catch us at the shop with all those new releases and fun goodies this week. So yeah, we'll see you next week. I'm in my head. I'm trying to just figure out how we're going to do this, but yes.
Yeah, you're not going to figure out this second. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. This is the hard stuff. It's trying to figure out the bracket. The fun stuff begins next week. So thanks for tuning in.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.
Happy birthday, Noah.